The college football experience, Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, brought to you by our Patreon. Whoa, yes, score exclusive perks and content available only to our patrons at good old sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Let's go. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Middle Tennessee, some say Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders 2023 season preview. They dropped the state a few years ago. I don't fucking know what's going on, but I'm excited to talk Middle Tennessee State Blue Raider football, or Middle Tennessee Blue Raider football. If you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink, and I don't have stress, and I'm healthy.
It is time to talk. It's a brand new day. There's a brand new Conference USA scattered across America. Middle Tennessee flirted with joining the MAC. And then they said, no. We want to stay in America, baby. The Conference USA. The dawn of a new day. All right. They got a bunch of new schools and a few staying around. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to preview offense, defense, special teams, go game by game on the MTSU schedule. I am joined by my co-host of one podcast we do, but he is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, which you should be subscribed to. Give it up for the man in the box, CJ Sullivan. How you doing, brother?
Yes, sir. Love to be here for Middle.
Yes.
Tennessee.
Look, when I think MTSU football, I think of CJ Sullivan.
I love it. Love it. I'm glad they're still in Conference USA. They belong in Conference USA.
They belong.
I mean, they are all about Conference USA.
Just
the state went to the MAC. They dropped the state. You can go to the MAC, whatever. Although I would have the Murph turf would have been pretty good for MAC, but they belong. If I think Conference USA, I think
exactly,
for sure.
Exactly right. That is just like it's like the Chicago Bears in the NFC Central.
Right.
No,
yeah. It's
not this North nonsense,
North,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Monsters of Midway. All right. Well, look, Middle Tennessee's the Monsters of USA.
They are.
Right?
They are absolutely USA. They host all newcomers and say kick you out the fucking door. But yeah, they don't belong in the MAC. Where are they from? Ohio? I thought only Ohio schools.
Yeah, and somehow Buffalo's in there too,
right?
And a couple of Michigan schools, but
they're Buffalo, Ohio. Somehow,
yeah,
it's everything Ohio.
Buffalo's Ohio.
Right. Yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
like I know they got Niagara Falls, but I mean, hey, look, it's not like Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro is the heartbeat of America.
Yes, they are.
All right,
Murfreesboro, the Blue Raiders. They're everything. I think there's so many just words. The middle, they dropped the state. They added words into the Union.
Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders.
I feel like there was a WB show about this team. I mean, these guys are hilarious.
Well,
I love it.
Let's talk a little bit about them because I got into some arguments. Me and Patty C last year.
Okay.
We did the MTSU preview, and people were saying they completely disagree with us about Rick Stockstill doing a good job, and they said they should get rid of him because, they're just not winning enough games, which is fucking mind-boggling in my opinion. Because you look at what this guy's done, And you could say, okay, he's 109 and 103, but you're at fucking Middle Tennessee.
He's at Middle
here.
Tennessee. He's been there 17 years, which is I think that's why people just say that. We're like, we're just sick of seeing him there. You know, just get him fired. What were you before this man? He should be able to leave whatever the hell he wants.
He's won 3 conference. Look, they used to be in the Sun Belt where he won Coach of the Year twice, but he also won Conference USA Coach of the Year in 2018. And shit, I think you could make a case last year considering they went out and won the Hawaii Bowl, and Miami paid them. The Miami Hurricanes won many national championships, paid them, I think, $1.5 million to come down to Miami, and they won
and collect some money.
Yes. I mean, they have scored big time wins.
You don't want to schedule in Middle Tennessee. They'll come and they're always going to put up points. That's what they do.
That's what I'm saying. So 8-5 season a year ago. You look at this guy's whole career. You know, they had a bad year in COVID, and then I guess the year prior to COVID. But they've been bowling more times than not. 10-3 season in 2009 was the biggest year for Stockstill. But the guy's a winner.
And that Miami game, by the way, it wasn't just some freak upset. They dominated that game.
They had like 500 yards of offense.
They just ran all over them.
So I don't know what they're thinking with that. You would say he's a pretty good coach, right?
Yeah, he's absolutely fine coach for what they're dealing with down there, especially in Conference USA.
Yeah. And that's another thing, the brand new Conference USA. So Louisiana Tech still in the Conference USA.
Yeah.
Florida International, the airport, still in the Conference USA. Western Kentucky, the rivals of Middle Tennessee. What's this rivalry? The 100 Miles of Hate. They are still
100 Miles of Hate.
Yeah, they're still there.
Speaking of hate, Liberty is there as well. They like to teach hate in their schools. Under the guise of pure
what are you
Christianity,
majoring in, sir?
Right? I hate anything. I hate anyone that's not like me. I've been picking up 17 credits on that.
So Liberty comes into the conference.
Okay.
Jacksonville State with Rich Rodriguez, not in Florida, that is in Alabama.
Okay.
I know it's all confusing. Also, Sam Houston State, who won an FCS championship just a couple of years ago. They're jumping in, and New Mexico State, the Aggies with that sweet ass logo with the fucking guy with the mustache and two handguns. I think that's everyone, right? Am I forgetting something? I think that's everyone.
We got UTEP.
Oh no, UTEP stayed. I'm sorry, I forgot about them.
Yeah.
The Miners did stay.
Right.
All right, and look, the Miners and New Mexico State have a long historic rivalry, so we like that.
That's good.
But the rest of the teams, a bunch of them.
Western Kentucky.
Yeah, they're 100 Miles of Hate. 100 Miles of Hate. That's a big time rivalry. Right. And yeah, so UTSA.
That's why I like to see Middle Tennessee there to hold things down. You know what I mean?
Gotta have consistency. I mean, somewhere, and I feel like that's the
American roots. That's what I mean. You got these new Jacksonville. I mean, like you said, so what the hell's going on here? Jacksonville, Alabama,
gonna put Pittsburgh State,
New Mexico. Someone's got to keep an eye on the border, and that's Middle Tennessee. That's what they do from their porch. This is your front porch kind of team.
Well, look, not only are they the front porch type of team, they are. We got to get that as a T-shirt. Middle Tennessee, front porch type of team. All right,
I love it. Majoring in hate. Liberty.
Yeah, Liberty's a back porch type of team. Back porch type of team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Look.
Keep this quiet in the basement kind of team.
We're gonna go game by game on the MTSU Blue Raiders schedule.
Yep.
And talk offense, defense, special teams, little transfer portal action. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience, MTSU front porch edition, season preview, brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yes.
All right.
Look, come on, do your part in the war against corporate gambling. You don't want to hear like no one else is giving you that you major at hate at Liberty. All right. Sign up for the SGP Patreon. All right. There's a ton of exclusive content, contests, and merch that are just for our patrons. Our picks are still free, people. All right. We're not gonna be one of those guys, but we're just gonna offer you a little bonus stuff. All right. A little monthly SGP Stories podcast, an ad-free, uncensored show highlighting the best stories from decades of being DGens. There's even a Discord channel just for the Patreons. So the Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon is a great way to score exclusive perks and support old SGPN because me and the man of the box, well, We got to pay bills.
Gotta pay bills, and wait till you hear us uncensored in the Patreon. If you think this is a rush, wait till you see what we're
porch. You think this little front porch nonsense is gonna go?
Right. Wait till we tell you what happens in the basement. Where you are holding back.
So sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Once again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And remember, let it ride.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are back talking Blue Raider football. And now that the Raiders are in Vegas playing in a filthy roller rink, this is the real.
Right.
This is the real Raiders.
These are the only Raiders I acknowledge now.
Only Raiders I acknowledge. And all right, let's talk a little transfer portal. CJ, I want to ask you if you think they won or lost the transfer portal, because a lot of times when when you're a Conference USA team or perhaps a Group of 5 team, the Power 5, especially if they're watching the tape of that Miami game, they say, whoa, who the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
We got to give him a call and a bag of cash the next offseason. That's the way college sports are moving right now.
Terrible. It's like the way the Yankees would just recruit the other major league teams as their minor league system.
I'm an Oriole fan.
Right. Just take them.
Sure, have Mike Messina.
Mm-hmm. Right? Right. Yeah, we think he might be pretty good, but only for us. Oh, yeah? You like that Cy Young winner, do you?
So I'm going to key on what they lost.
I mean, the big one was DeCorian Patterson, obviously. He led the league. He led the country, not the league. He led the country, and they're tied for it.
Yeah.
With interceptions, 7 interceptions.
He is now a UCF very golden knight as they jump into the Big 12.
So that hurts.
That is a brutal one. They also lost another brutal. I mean, look, I'm going to go. I'll make sure I catch everyone here. Okay. Jace Yurdy, a tight end, still in the portal.
Okay.
He might have been shown the door. Who knows?
Okay.
Cornerback Deldrick Stanley in the portal. Then this one was huge here. Wide receiver Jalen Lane to Virginia Tech. And if you watch the Miami game that I'm alluding to, I want to say he had a 99-yard touchdown in that game.
Go ahead and say it.
Go
ahead and say that.
That's a pretty tough loss. Quatarius Tolbert, other wide receiver, gone.
Ooh.
Offensive lineman Seth Foley. All right. He had too many follies. He's gone now. Offensive lineman Joseph Stone, he's in the portal. Linebacker Andrew Take a Leak is in the portal. See what I did there, CJ?
All these.
All right, incoming though.
98-yard touchdown. By the way.
Yeah, there we go. I was wrong. See,
we'll fix that. We'll fix that in the Patreon. Make sure you subscribe. The Patreon, you get the 98-yarder. You get the accurate stats.
Wide receiver Holden Willis comes in from South Florida.
All right.
There's one I'm interested about. Ren Hefley at Presbyterian. A couple of years ago, this guy threw some big yards at Presbyterian, the Blue Hose. He was part of that staff, I believe, that was like kicking an onside kick every score. They thought the defense was that bad. Yeah, interesting coaching philosophy that did not work out very well for Presbyterian.
I like it though. I like that dice roll. I like thinking outside the box. That's what a man in the box is all about.
They did bring in offensive tackle Julius Pierce from FIU, the airport. And this was a big one here. Brandon Buckner coming in, not Bill Buckner, Brandon Buckner from the Oregon Ducks coming in. And then running back Jaden Krettel from Northern Illinois in the MAC. Georgia Tech wide receiver Kalani Norris, is coming in, as well as wide receiver Justin Olson from North Carolina. So they did go out actively and get some guys. Cornerback Tyrell Raby from the Memphis Tigers, and then offensive tackle Devin Hayes with Dion at Jackson State comes in. As much as I those guys could be key players, I mean, losing Lane and losing Patterson, kind of think you lost the portal, right?
Brutal. That's what I mean. It's just this. Yeah, those are the big names that you can't do. I mean, you can. Well, it's a mystery what you're scheduled. There are some intriguing ones, like you said, like Presbyterian, but I mean, DeCorian is one that hurts me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And just people that graduations too.
Yeah, that's true too.
Jordan Ferguson.
Jordan Ferguson. Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing, man, is they are returning a decent amount on the defensive side of the ball.
The defense looks good.
Yeah.
The defense looks good. And the running back depth on offense looks solid. Depth.
Yeah.
Talent, they'll be there. But the defense is what's going to carry this team. And I think, and that's why I'm kind of bullish, but not to show a spoiler alert for how we're going to look at this over under. But the reason why I'm a little bullish on these Blue Raiders is that the defense is there. They can rely on that. It travels well, especially in this conference. It's going to be top.
And you know what helps is the rest of the conference isn't there.
Right. The rest of the conference isn't there.
They left.
Stockstill's offense eventually does come around. Early on, there's going to be some bumps, obviously, but you can usually rely on a Middle Tennessee offense. I mean, it depends on quarterback play, which is a big question mark for him.
Yeah.
But I think it might, if that does come around, I mean, watch out for this team.
Yeah, and Stockstill's a former quarterback himself. Played under Bobby Bowden at Florida State.
Big time material.
Yeah. And now let me ask you something, son. In track, do you slow up at the end of the race?
What are you gonna do that on tape? That number 7 is big time material.
Sir, why were your starters in the fourth in the fourth quarter up 77 points? Well, let me ask you. In track, do you slow up at the end of a race? God. Oh man, what a legend.
Love him.
Let's take a look back at last season. Look, last season.
Take a look.
Last season they did beat Miami by double digits at the old Hard Rock Hotel there.
Outgained them by 200 yards and pounded them at the Hard Rock.
Yeah, and got a nice bowl win against San Diego State in the Hawaii Bowl. They actually had some decent wins. They beat Florida Atlantic by 28 points. Florida Atlantic not a terrible school. And then, that was pretty much at the core of their best wins. They got their ass whooped out the gate against James Madison.
Yeah, which I kind of, obviously not a good look. Lose your opener 44-7 to James Madison.
To a team that was jumping up from the FCS.
JMU. Yeah. And there's obviously some excusing you said, but what it does is it lets everyone else's guard down, and because that's something you can't rub off your record. And they're like, oh, this team just lost 44-7 James Madison. Well, that's how you come back the next week and you go to Colorado State
and you get boom, that, and win by 15 up there in Fort Collins.
Get that Fort Collins win because now everyone thinks you're the team that lost to James Madison.
Yeah, but here's the thing that's tricky because Miami was 5-7. They didn't really beat anybody with a winning record except San Diego State.
Well,
there's that.
That's not good. But it was in the Hawaii Bowl.
True. So got a neutral
they
site.
saved it for the last, But that's what it is. You lose to James Madison, and you whip off 3 in a row. And after that big Miami win, you're going to have a huge letdown.
I mean, the Miami win might be the biggest in the history of the fucking program.
Right.
So I know they beat Missouri.
Patty C wants his coach out of here.
Yeah. Look, last season, the scoring offense, 61st in all the land, rush offense, 113th. Man, commit to the run a little more. Passing offense, 35th, total offense, 77th. Let's dive into the offensive side of the ball here because what we saw a year ago is you had Chase Cunningham, who I feel like was as old as Randall Cunningham. Because,
I know. I can't believe he's finally gone.
Yeah, he's finally gone. They add in Hefley from Presbyterian, who threw 39 touchdowns and a nice 31 picks, which is almost fucking hard to do. But they started a guy who got a couple starts a year ago, and he didn't want to burn his red shirt. And Nicholas, how do you pronounce this last name?
Battiato. He'll fit right in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the macaroni? They put a ketchup on his macaroni, but Battiato.
So he's look, he ended up playing in 2 games. So I think started 2 games, right?
They had a bunch of quarterbacks last year because they went through a few injuries, of course. Besides, when Cunningham plays, he was the guy.
Well, you like the fact that you got a little bit of burn last season. So obviously that might make or break. He's only a sophomore, and then obviously you got Hefley coming in, who's a junior. But got some starting experience in the FCS. Running back, as you alluded to, second team All CUSA, Frank Peasant.
Well, Frankie Peasant.
Maybe you're not 115 in the run or whatever. What did I say? They were 117, I think it was. No, 113. To me, you lack experience at the quarterback spot. I'm going to go ahead and say they're going to be a top 80 run offense.
Really?
All right. I'm just going to make that bold prediction.
Well, like I said,
football 101. All right.
They got deep running backs, right?
Yeah.
Quarterback inconsistency, running back times. You're going to run the ball until things start gelling together.
Yeah, and you bring back 3 of 5 on the offensive line, including, you do have a first team CUSA offensive lineman there. I guess that's kind of hard to to tout because the whole conference left.
Right.
So coming into this year,
but they're bringing back left tackle Sterling Porcher, who's the most important position there, of course.
I wonder if it was any relation to Robert Porcher,
yeah, for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, he was spelled the name the same way.
Very oily, that Robert Porcher.
Yes,
I liked him.
But how about the receiving core, man? They lose everybody except DJ England-Chisolm.
England-Chisolm, I like.
Yeah.
Obviously, they lost one to the transfer portal, as you said, and the entire 3 starters are gone after that. So that's why it's going to be a problem, especially early on, to get this passing offense gelling.
But one thing I will note of the offensive line, with the exception of center Wilson Kelly, everyone else is an upperclassman, which I think you kind of like. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Rutledge is a sophomore too, but he started last year. So you got 3 upperclassmen out of 5. We expect regression here, right? There's no doubt.
Got to be some regression,
right?
And there's just so much mystery, and it doesn't look too promising either.
Yeah. But Stockstill, that's his specialty. So if you told me I had to pick between offense and defense on who would be replacing what would you rather have? I think you'd want it on the offensive side of the ball. We're just 5 starters back from a season ago. On the defensive side of the ball, there are 8 starters returning on a unit that.
And real quick on England-Chisolm, let's just hope he stays healthy. He weighs 113 pounds, I believe.
They got fucking.
They have him at. They got
Ashley Judd at wideout. Right?
They have him registered at 160, and I've seen him, but he does not look 160. But anyway, I love him. He's great.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah. Obviously, that's key. The defense returns 8, 77th in scoring defense a year ago.
Okay.
Now, 22nd against the run. You know why they were 22nd against the run?
Because you could throw all over them.
Because nobody tried to even attempt a run against them, because they were 129th out of 131 in pass defense, charting at 95th overall. But you got 8 back. Hopefully they can guard the pass a little better. All right, you can only get better. There's no way to
only one way to go.
Yeah. So there's that. Now the defensive line, I actually think, might be the strong point of this team.
Yes.
First team All CUSA player Marley Cook back at the defensive tackle spot. Same with second team All CUSA left end Zaylen Wood. They also
like that Zaylen Wood. I like Zaylen, both of them. They're all big time players. Like they make like sacks, tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Like they're go big or go home kind of D line, which I like.
Bringing 3 of 4 back on the D line is always fantastic, especially when 2 are studs that could be playing on Sundays. Then you have
Wood had a touchdown on Miami game, if I recall.
I think he might have. Yeah, right.
That's what I mean. They have the D line that make those big plays that can turn over a game, which I like.
Certainly. And then the linebacking core, you're bringing back 2 of 3. Now I think you circle redshirt freshman Parker Hughes is a question mark as a potential starter. But Devin Curtis and Drew Francis linebacker spot. And then you bring in that Oregon transfer who might see the field as well. Okay, I'm buying in. Right. Now the secondary.
Now the analysis I'm looking at with these linebackers is quote unquote a salty bunch. A salty bunch of linebackers, which I think is very.
That is, that's what you want out of it. I think if you ask old Stockstill, a NASCAR coach.
Yeah. Right? I mean, that's what you're going to get in Tennessee.
Watch out for turn 4.
They don't
get a salty turn.
That's what you get when you get in Tennessee too. You get barbecue. They do not care about your cholesterol. You're getting a salty bunch of hush puppies coming your way.
Secondary. We alluded to the
right. Here's where they lost some. Huge loss.
The Corian Patterson is now UCF, but they return everybody else. Yes. Okay. Left corner Teldrick Ross is back. Their safety play Jacoby Thomas and Trey Fluellen is back. He was first team All CUSA a year ago. And don't forget, Teldrick Ross was second team All CUSA a year ago. I'm kind of bullish on this defense. Yourself, even though I know that you got to get better against the pass.
Right. I think that's okay. I mean, they did have some big losses, but the 3 they still brought back are still a good unit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I thought that's enough going forward to improve upon. If you have a nucleus of, was it 7 of starters coming back from that? 8 starters?
Yeah.
That's plenty. And you get a salty bunch in the offseason there in Tennessee. You get them training together, and they start getting mission oriented, and they become a pack.
Well, and they return their kicker if they're in a close game.
I was just going to get into that. I know your favorite analysis. Do you have Any skill on the ground, any experience with the kicking game.
Always huge.
Huge.
Especially college kickers. Look.
And old Zeke Rankins coming back, 16 and 19 field goals last year, old Zeke.
And I saw Ryan Day trying to say, we can't use the hash mark. We should update the game.
I know. What is that nonsense?
Bullshit. All right, look. This is what makes college great. You're kicking at those crazy angles when it's a 17-yard field goal and you gotta. It's like you're out on the golf course.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know. You got to play to win. You got to slice. You got an optical illusion with an angle.
Yeah. Who knows what surface you're playing on in college athletics?
Sometimes you got to back it up. We're too close. I don't even know we can make this. We're too close to the field goal.
Zeke Rankin knows what we're talking about. I like that. They also bring in a brand new punter, though, in Trey Turk coming over from Mercer.
Okay. Bring in a punter.
FCS transfer, started 2 years, or played 2 years at Mercer. I think the defense is going to be a lot better. Let's get to the game by game schedule.
There we go.
All right. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders 2023 season preview episode on the College Football Experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. The NFL season is right around the corner, and Underdog Pick'em is a great way to get down on a ton of NFL player props. And it's available in a ton of different markets, plus plenty of opportunities to win in their daily MLB contest. And of course, make sure you check out Best Ball Mania, where first place gets $1 million in prizes. Folks, also, I'm going to go off script here. We've been with Underdog Fantasy for a couple of years. The Conference USA, shout out to them because they are focusing on a lot more weekday games this year. All of the month of October, they're going to be playing, I think, all of their conference games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And I think there's one Thursday as well. What Underdog Fantasy does a great job of in years past is player props for any like weeknight college football games. I highly recommend, like you can find, if you're an MTSU fan, you might see, what's our QB's name again? Rigatoni.
Nick Battiato.
Battiato throwing over 185 yards. All right. Take that action. All right. So check out Underdog Fantasy. Head over there. UnderdogFantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was just going to say, you just had me think about Ryan Day. What a pussy he is. I mean, what?
Yeah. Well, just because he missed the field goal?
I know. I mean, Jim Tressel.
Yeah.
Took that entire Ohio State program solely on kicking and field position. Yeah. And then he would bring in these 35-year-old kickers from Australia, at professional event, and he'd do nothing but field position and field goals. He'd do damn near won national championships because of it.
One of the hilarious things is like they'll say, well, like I've heard stacking the money. No, I think more so Kramer, because he's like, these college kickers are terrible. They don't realize that. I heard Danny Cannell talk about this too, that like the game is actually, it's harder to kick in college than it is pro.
For sure.
You get the shittier kickers,
right?
But you also have those crazy angles. It's not going to be right in the middle of the field.
It makes it fun.
Yeah.
NFL is trying, and NFL keeps making new rules to try to make kicking harder. They don't understand. Just set these fucking ass back.
Let's
angle them up.
Yeah.
You don't have to set them
There's
back.
nothing worse than that. And sometimes we've seen in big time games, a coach be stupid on the 3rd and 15, run to the 3rd and 15 from the 20, and he runs to the far left and makes it just incredibly hard for his kicker to make a field goal. And
then he screams at the kicker for missing it. Well, maybe don't put me at a 45-degree angle, coach. You fucking moron.
Yeah, certainly. That's what adds to part of the fun that is college football, in my opinion. So let's get to the schedule. I know we don't have our graphic up. Cameron Kerr, our graphics guy, currently apparently on vacation in Galveston, Texas. I didn't know that was a vacation
destination. Galveston, Texas.
Like I'm on vacation in Galveston. Like, wow. Okay. Hitting the outlets. What's going on? Huh?
Yeah. Known for shootings. I know that.
Well, the win total, if you're not, you can be watching this episode on YouTube, but you won't see the sweet graphic like most episodes. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Win total sitting at 6.5 wins on first thought without diving into the schedule. CJ, do you think Stockstill is a proven commodity?
Yes.
All right.
Also, I'm sorry. Apologies to Galveston, Texas, the Queen City of the Gulf, I should say. They're known for their ports.
Yeah.
great, not vacation spots. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like they always get destroyed in hurricanes.
They do. Yeah, that's when you hear Galveston. Yeah. It's right by the port. There's water there.
Oils in the. Isn't that where we had the big
oils
leak?
in the water? My favorite Deep Purple song.
There we go. Well. 6.5 wins though. You would just say you like the over, right?
That's what they're setting at 6.5. Blindly looking at it without going down the games yet, I'm leaning over. But let's take a look. Maybe we won't get there.
Plus 100 on the under 6.5. Okay. Currently minus 125 on the over. So Vegas basically is leaning, saying they're probably gonna go 7-5 with Rick Stockstill. Let's hop into it because week 1.
Okay.
This is a big one here. This is a very big one here. They beat Miami.
Yeah. So they set them up with a nice cupcake to begin the season, right?
I think they're joining the SEC. Their first 2 games are on the road in the SEC.
Nice. Okay.
At Alabama. Look, Nick Saban breaking in. And I'll say this. Saban's breaking in a new quarterback. Yeah. If there's ever going to be a time.
It's not this time. It's 10 years from now. But
when he's in a grave. But okay, so 0-1.
Well, I like this. Last year they lost 49-7 to open up versus James Madison. They say, well, if we're going to lose by 50, we might as well lose to Alabama. Someone make it worth our while. Fair. Get a paycheck.
Help that strength of schedule.
Absolutely.
Right. Then they head to Columbia, Missouri, which is interesting because they beat Missouri the last time they played there, I think, or one of the last 2 times they played there.
I just don't. I think this is too early to play Missouri in their schedule. With the uncertainty of quarterback and receivers and getting this offense, I think it's going to take a little while for this offense to be in full.
But does
mode.
It help that you get Bama week 1 and then you get Missouri week 2? So, we could do this.
No, it does not.
Body blow. Blow. Yeah.
I mean, you're right. You're definitely stepping down in competition, but you're also
these guys aren't that good, right?
But you're also going to lose about 7 or 8 guys as well.
I got them 0-2.
Yeah, 0-2.
Okay.
Sure.
Now the Racers of Murray State come to town.
Okay, now we're talking.
Look, Murray State was pretty bad last year. I know they went out and got active in the portal. Who knows what the Racers are this year? But I like a little Kentucky-Tennessee matchup, on the gridiron. This is a win. This is a win.
We're getting our first.
Get off the schneid.
Yeah, we'll get it home. Let's get home opener.
Now Jay Norvell and Colorado State come to town. I just interviewed Jay Norvell when I was at Mountain West Media Day, and I can tell you, he's very confident on this year's team.
Okay.
That's why I'm going to call for Colorado State to get the dub.
Well, that's some inside information from our man, the reporter Dundee, who was on the scene. You had boots on the ground.
Yeah,
I saw you with the glasses, the Clark Kent.
Everything.
You had the hat, the notepad. You're asking the questions. You had the pomade in the hair. You were looking good out there.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Thank you. It's out there. Trying to do my best, Jim Gray.
Yeah, and annoy the hell out of fucking right. Just get in there.
What are you going with?
We decided as a team we're not talking to you, Dundee. I mean,
that's next year for sure.
I'm going to follow your lead. I want to take Colorado State just on your expert opinion, and it's a revenge game from last year. They went into Colorado State last year. They got that win, and
that was year 1 of the Norvell era. This is year 2.
Yeah.
Now they head.
Norvell's gonna have a circle, so we got them 1-3.
Awesome Thursday night game though. This is the rivalry, 100 Miles of Hate.
Yes.
Middle Tennessee heads to Bowling Green, Kentucky. I mean, have you ever been, CJ, to Bowling Green, Kentucky?
Bowling Green, I have not. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Lexington, but I've not been to Bowling Green.
Well, this rivalry, 100 Miles of Hate. Once again, great name. I'm going to currently look at what the rivalry stands at.
Great name. Good. Hate's been a good theme for the show so far. You have your Liberty hate, you got front porch hate, you got 100 miles of hate.
100 miles of hate, front porch hate, and my computer hate because this thing is taking forever to load right now. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All time. The series, Western Kentucky has a 1-game lead. That's incredible.
Wow.
Considering that they've been playing since 1914.
That's amazing.
That's called a strong rivalry. I'm buying into this 100 miles of hate. All right. 1-game lead. But I kind of think Western's better right now, and it's at Western. I'm sorry, MTSU fans. I'm taking Western Kentucky to win this one. What are you doing, buddy?
Now the first meeting, of course, Middle Tennessee won that 47-0. If you recall.
Back in 1914.
Yeah, if you recall that one, 10-10-14. The official date of that.
Who could forget that one?
And I did not just Google that information, but I'm struggling to look at our 7 wins now because I think you're right. I'm liking Western Kentucky in this short turnaround on Thursday night. 100 miles of hate Thursday. What a great game this is going to be.
Yeah, I love that on Thursday night. Thank you, Conference USA. This game should be a weekday game every year. And that puts them at 1-4. Wait, the win total is 6.5.
Yeah, we gotta get going. That's for sure.
Well, the very next week on a Wednesday, Rich Rodriguez and Jacksonville State come to town.
Now, Jacksonville, I don't care if they're in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, whatever Jacksonville this town's coming from.
They're taking an L.
Yeah, this is where things start need to start coming around for Middle Tennessee, and this is where they rallied last year. They won 5 of their last 6, the last 4, including that San Diego State Bowl. I've got them over Jacksonville State.
This is a great game. All right, I'll join you, even though I don't feel great about it because Rich Rod. I'll tell you this: Rich Rod runs the hell out of the ball. He might want to throw the ball if he knows this pass defense is that bad, but. Okay, I'll join you, even though I feel like that's a 50-50 game. I do like their chances in this next one. Louisiana Tech comes into Murfreesboro, the Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Isn't that a beautiful top 5 name of
just
first
great?
stadium?
I was just going to say all those words were great.
Johnny Red Floyd Stadium.
Johnny Red Floyd and Stadium.
Jeez, nobody walks into Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Yeah. Don't ever change this. This is a win.
Yep, absolutely. This is where we're going to start the roll.
So 3.
And also, if they make you feel a little better about that Rich Rod win, you also have a 10-day layoff in between getting ready for them to come into your hometown.
That's true.
And lick your wounds off that 100 miles of hate.
Well, now, like I know we said that Liberty, they study and they major in hate. But so now they got to go to Liberty. This place gets lit.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want. Liberty basketball and football games. Oh. They should already join the SEC.
They're
the way that they load
up. They're a store-bought cult.
That's what makes me think they're going to lose this one.
It's a tough one. Is this a night game? I mean, who knows? Yeah, Liberty. They it's oh man, I just hate to keep putting these losses on this record, but
if we put them at this loss,
I know. Now we got to run the table, right?
Yeah, and they get a bye week though before they got to run the table there.
Okay.
But man, they got to head to Las Cruces, New Mexico. This is why it's the Conference USA.
Yeah.
Go out.
All right. Hate on hate. We're lost at Liberty.
I think I got them losing to New Mexico State.
At New Mexico State, I have them winning. This is my win.
Okay. I'll join you just for the suspense. Then they beat the airport, Florida International on November 11th in Murfreesboro.
Beat the tarmac out of them, if you will.
Then you got the Miners of UTEP coming to town on November 18th. They might have fired their coach by then. So I think that's a win. And then they end the season at Sam Houston State, who, like I said, just won the FCS championship a few years ago. This is a loss. Either way, I'm on the under. Because I think personally, I gave them the Jacksonville State game.
Right.
I'm giving them the New Mexico State game in Las Cruces. That's cross country. I don't see it.
Sam Houston, you're not even thinking twice about it. That's just a loss.
Well, I just feel like between Sam Houston and New Mexico State, those are both 2 very far road trips.
Right.
I just think they're probably not as good on paper either.
Yeah. They're probably not as good on paper.
New Mexico State was a bowl team a year ago. Sam Houston State was been an FCS powerhouse over the past couple of years. For sure.
But this is when Tennessee starts rolling too. They get better as the season goes on, and it's defense, and this is when the offense.
I still got them bowling.
Yeah,
6-6.
6-6 is bowling.
6-6. They're in the Chimichanga Bowl. All right. You're going over or under?
It all comes down to Sam Houston games. Is that what we have? We have 6 wins going into that game.
The wins are Murray State,
right?
Jacksonville State,
yep.
La Tech, New Mexico State, Florida International, and UTEP.
Okay, so that is 6, right?
And I don't even know if they're going to be 6-6 because, like I said, I gave them Jacksonville State and New Mexico State. They could be 5-7, but he seems to have a history of just going 6-6. So I'm going to trust.
Right, I'll go with you.
I'm going to trust the fact that Stockstill is going to get it done.
Who knows if they'll put up an Italian quarterback out there? This whole season might go down the goddamn tubes. I mean,
who knows how the fans will accept him?
Exactly. So, all right, I'm with you. 6-7 under, but we'll still get him in a bowl.
Get him in the bowl, okay? And then look, that's it. I'm on the under. He's on the under. How well could you lock this one up? Would you be betting this one?
I mean, this number seems pretty accurate.
I kind of like the under.
Yeah, I do like that under too. But like you said, with this conference, they're the only ones with a defense, really. But that's a tough schedule.
It is.
And the way it sets up for them. All right, lock it up. Let's go.
Lock it up. Let's go. Look, before we get out of here, I sat down with one Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour, to talk about his experiences at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium.
Yes.
All right, and here is that interview.
Joining
me on the college football experience, Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders 2023 season preview episode is none other than Michael Barker, aka College Football Campus Tour. What's that? Yes, College Football Campus Tour. That's his name on this show. All right, because look, on his Twitter account, which is at CFB Campus Tour, you're going to find one of the coolest pages in all of the land. All right. Because this guy covers college football. He goes to every single game. I'm shitting you. Not every game, but like 5, 6, 7 games a week. And he documents it all. He puts it on his page. A lot of times he'll do the photo of the game, which is always awesome. He'll do shots of the stadium's history when it first year, some of these legendary stadiums. So it's just a must follow for any college football fan. Once again, CFB Campus Tour. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show, brother.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the introduction. Not every game in 2021. I did 81 games. That's the most I've done. So, but yeah, I try to be at a game every possible college football night, and this time we're going to be talking about Floyd Stadium, and I'll be out there later this year. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I've been to this stadium, but I also believe this might be one of the best named stadiums in all of college football. Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. It just sounds cool, man. It just sounds cool, right? It's just. Yeah.
I was just going to say, a lot of times people, they have a donor that they name it after, and it doesn't sound particularly well for a stadium. This is actually named after their former coach, Johnny Red Floyd. So some people call it Floyd Stadium. They call the whole thing, but it's a great nickname. And just as far as the history goes, it opened in 1933. Back then it had only 6,000 seats. It's been expanded to 31,000. And in 1995, when they moved up to FBS, it underwent a major renovation. And what's very interesting about this place is it holds 31,000 seats now, but it is expandable to 71,000 if necessary. So I know Snapdragon is the new stadium in San Diego for the Aztecs. It's 35,000 and it's expandable to 50. So to add 15 more, but to have a stadium that is has this kind of potential, it just shows you someone's planning ahead. And, in Murfreesboro, it's very proximate to Nashville, about 35-minute drive. So good stadium, good location, and they're thinking ahead with possible expansion as well.
Yeah, they could be a sleeping giant, man. You let them that close to Nashville. Come on now, let's get it going. Let's get this thing going. I've been to this stadium. I had a great experience. I went back when they were in the old belt. They took on the Idaho Vandals back in the day, and I had a great time at this game or at the stadium. So tell me about how many times you've been here and your experiences.
So I've been there a couple times for visits, but I've only been to one game, and it was a COVID game in 2020. And again, we've talked about it previously. Football is better than no football. That being said, you don't get the full capacity crowd, authentic experience, but they played Troy. Troy put on one of the best performances I've seen in a while. They beat them 47-14. There was only 6,000 fans allowed, so it wasn't peak environment, but you did get a good opportunity to explore the stadium. I'm looking forward to, we talk about Maction always playing on the weeknight games. Well, the reconfigured Conference USA, they're going to be playing a bunch of weeknight games too. And Middle Tennessee has a game October 4th at home, and I'm going to be there for that. And that's, I think, is a Wednesday. So we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday. So that would be a good week of football.
Oh, it sounds incredible. Folks, did you hear what he just said? That's why you should give him a follow. And he documents it all. It's just super, super, super entertaining page, man. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show to talk about Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. And maybe one day I'll catch you at a game there.
Yes, sir. This is, I think they're going to be playing these weeknight games for a few years, so plenty of opportunities. So hopefully we can meet up there at Murfreesboro.
Hey, man, let's do it, man. All right, folks. Look, Michael, thank you so much for hopping on the show and have a wonderful day.
Absolutely, Colby. Thank you.
All right. That was Michael Barker talking about Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. CJ Sullivan.
Love all those words.
The man in the box here, and he says lock up the under, and I'm with him. I think you might be here. Look, we have a locks episode we're going to be doing in August.
Loving the hate.
Oh, I think it might be there. I know Stockstill will still be bowling probably. Oh, yeah. Still get them to Chimichanga Bowl, and then then we get it going. All right, folks. Make sure you check out old CJ Sullivan here. All right, because his show absolutely fucking hilarious, and it's got great tips. Did you just hit on some golf?
Just hit. I mean, I just keep giving out winning bombs.
Yeah,
hit a couple top 10s, hit another top 10 in British Open, hit 2 of those plus 550s. I mean, they're not just straight up winners. These are sharp plus monies.
Yeah.
Only.
Look, Bottom Line Bombs podcast. CJ Sullivan's on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _. Folks, check him out and also subscribe to the College Football Experience because we're breaking out all 133 teams. All right, all 133 teams with a solo podcast for every single team in the land. Subscribe, tell a friend. We also host the FCS College Football Experience, the College Basketball Experience, the College Baseball Experience, and the Big 12 Experience. New to the feed. Check out all that. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. So subscribe over there. We got you covered. All right. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as well. They're always doing great work. They're deep into their NFL futures. So if you want to check out the Tennessee Titans, see how they're doing this year, even though they're building that filthy new fucking stadium. All right, that's just terrible. Check it out, folks. Yeah, all right, there you go, DeAndre Hopkins, and they're bringing back the Oilers uniforms. That's a win, folks. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. Also, check out our Patreon and also hop in the Discord. Talk a little college football at the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right, until next time, this is the College Football Experience, Middle Tennessee Blue Raider style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.